Hi, it's Kobby Discount here. In this lesson, we will continue with our work on how to design a corporate website from scratch using HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, a bit of jQuery, and then a bit of JavaScript. Okay, and let's get back to our work. This is where we got to the last time. Okay, now I left some things out the last time. If you look at this, if you refresh it, you realize that this and then the button all appears at the same time. You get it? You need to change that. So we go to the CSS, and then this is supposed to be 1 second, and then this is supposed to be 0.1 second rather, 0.1 second, and this 1 second. So let's get back to the browser, refresh it, and there you have it. This comes after some few seconds. The button also comes. Let's have a look. Okay, so that is what we actually wanted. Okay, now let's continue with today's work. Now we are done with this, the home section. Next is the service section. Realize that most of the corporate websites, after the hero area, beneath it they have their services, the services they offer. As usual, we'll start with the comment, service section, close the comment, section, and then everything goes in between these. We'll create a div here, give it a class, and call it service page. Within this div, you will create another div, give it a class service title. Within that, we will have our h3, and then the right services. Now let's create another div. We need an underline for the services, so give it a class services, service title underline. I think that is okay, and we close it. Now within this div, the service title div, not this, but the service title div, we create another div and then give it a class of, that will be the container. These ones will come beneath this. You understand? It will come beneath the services. Let me show you. Yeah, these are services. So the next div will come beneath this, and that will be selling our services. You get it? So let's get back to work. This is where we were. We will call this container. That will contain what you'll be putting in there. So container, and then within that, for Bootstrap, you first ought to have your container. Within the container, you have your row. Within your row, you have your column. You understand? This is part of the Bootstrap grid system. Let's get back to the Bootstrap. First, as I was saying, first you need to have a class of container. Next, you need to have a class of row, and then next you need to have a class of column. And this SM stands for small devices, and then we have MD for medium devices, and then we have L for large devices. We have XS for extra small, and you have extra large. At your own time, I will encourage you to read these things so that you better understand them. It's very helpful. Now, the Bootstrap grid system has 12 columns. It can be one role. Within that role, we have 12 columns. So within that, you can have 1 colon, which is the 12. You can have 2, which is 6, 6. You can have 3, which is 4, 4. And you can have 3, 3, 3, 3, making 12. And then we can have 2, 2, 2, blah, 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 making 12. So we have a div class of row as we saw over there. Within this, we have another div class of the column, this for column, and then we have MD for medium devices, and then we will divide ours into 3. So it means we have 1 column, 2, 3, and 4. You get it? It means we have 4 columns. The 3, 3, 3 times 4, they make 12. So we close this, of course. Within this, we also create another div. We give it a class of, let's name it service item. Yeah, service item. We close it. Now within this, we create another div. We give it a class of service item icon. You close it. Within this, we add our icons. I4, give it a class of, have the I, and then give it a class of. Even before we give it a class, let's go online and check the font awesome icons. So this is the font awesome icons. These are the icons available. So you select the one you prefer. Now our website, we intend developing a website for a graphic design company. You understand? And so you have to use an icon that matches. There are a whole lot of icons here. You go through at your own time. I have selected first a laptop. You have a tablet here. Since I've seen the tablet first, let me use the tablet. You click on it, and this is how you use the tablet. You give it a class, as I have done, a class, and then FA tablet. Okay. So as I have done here, FA, and tablet. Now this icon is very small. It's very small for our work. It's very small for our work, so we should increase it. I'll go for FA. You can increase it times 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll choose 3x. You understand? And then I'll close this. Why are you not clicking for hand? There you have it. I'll close it. Okay, so we are done with this. Let's have a look at it in our browser. Fresh. Okay. Now beneath the immediate div, this one, beneath this one, we create another div, and then that will be for the service item, the title. That will be for the title. Service item title. I think that makes sense. Within that, we will put our title here. So let's say H4, H3 should be okay. Okay. This is tablet. So for tablet, you should say app development. App development. And then you can add something to it, a small description to it if you want to. Let's do same. You add a small description to it beneath this one, beneath the service item title. So you create another div. The div is becoming too much, but it's very necessary. Under title, service item description. Service item description. And then you close it, and then within it you create your paragraph. Sorry. Now you can add your text here. In my case, I'll use any of those demo text from Lorem Ipsum. Now with brackets, you have to install that extension. So you go to available extensions or extension manager, available, and then you search for this extension. There you have it, and you install it. Having done that, you get back to your work, and then over here you just type lorem and then you press tab, and la, there you have it. Okay, I'll just take a few of this off. I think this is okay for me. Now what you're going to do is we'll copy this from the column, and then you're copying this, and then we'll just duplicate it. We'll duplicate it, and then when you're done, make changes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Why 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 3, 6, 9, and then 12, making 4 columns. Okay, let's make changes. The first one was app development, and that was tablet. The next one should be, let's say, web design. And when it's web design, it means this has to change. Let's look for the appropriate icon to use. You can also search for the icon you want. So you search for it, monitor, and there you have it. Desktop. Okay, so FA desktop. You change this FA, and you have the desktop. You want the size to be ×3. The next one should be, let's say, search. We have FA search. And then the last one, of course, we need to change this. Search engine optimization. And then the last one, let's look for what we'll be using. Again, you should be using what is appropriate for you. Let's say pencil. Okay, this is okay. FA, let me just copy it. I already have the FA there, so I'll leave it out, and then I'll paste it here. Okay, now let's take a look at our work. Go to the browser, you refresh, and there you have it. It's actually supposed to be 4, not 5. If you go beyond 4, that means you violated the grade system rules. So it's supposed to be 4. Where is that last one? Started from here. Okay, so I get it. This one. Okay, let's go back. Fresh, and there you have it. That's cool. Now, having done this, the next thing we need to do is to start our work. Even before that, let me select the whole thing. Right click, beautify. I'll save. I'll go to my style.css. As usual, I'll write my comment. Services section. Now the first thing I'll start over here will be service item. Service item. Let's copy it. It's a class. You get it? It's a class, not an ID. It's a class, and I'm sure by now you know how to write. You know how to style a class. The full stop, and then give the name of whatever you want to style, followed by curly braces. Now let me look at the service item. This is service item. Within that we have service item icon. We have all these things. Now I want the padding to be 25 pixels, right, 0 pixel, another 25 pixel, and then 0 pixel. Next, I want the margin. I should have a margin. The margin should be let's say 25 also, 25 pixels. Let's have a look at what we've done so far. Refresh. Okay, so these are the items. We've added some padding and then the margin to it. Now when you hover over it, I want the cursor to change. It should be pointer, like a hand, you understand? So cursor, pointer. Let me show you. Let me refresh. You see, when you hover over it, I want the cursor to change to a pointer. The next thing we need to do is to start the service item icon. Open your curly braces. You give it a color. Next, you would give it a padding 20, and then let's give it a width of, let's say 80 pixels. Of course, height of same 80 pixels. Let's have a look at our work so far. Refresh, scroll down. Okay, it's taking effect. Looking at the work, I think this pen is centered already. Yeah, it looks centered to me. So we already add that float property. It looks centered to me. So next you add, let me have a look at the work again. You want these icons to be here, to be beside the title, the names, you understand? So let's have margin right to be, let's say 25 pixels. Margin right to be 25 pixels. Let's have it to be 25 pixels, and then you have a text align. I'm having a look. Text align should be, the text align, we should make it align, not center. Okay, it's not. Let's go on. I think we need to add a float property. Sorry. Float left. So float left. Yeah, that is it. So this is what we wanted. Float left. Not what I expected. So let me say margin right 20. I'll change the margin right to 10. Okay, so let's move on. Next, we have the service. In fact, before that, if you hover over this, I want something to happen. If you hover over it with your mouse, I want something to happen. So we write class, the service item, and then as usual we'll bring our hover service item icon, and then you bring your curly braces. Let me have a look. First, just set this item, service item icon. So if you hover over these ones, these are the icons. So I think I need to add the eye. So if you hover over the eye, this is what I want to happen. If you hover over it, I want the text color to be, I prefer this same color. I don't know about you, but I prefer this. I want the text color to be that, and then I want the background color. The background color, you know what? Let's do it this way. I want, if you hover over it, I want the background color to be this, and I want the text color to be white. I think this makes sense. Okay, let's take it of this. Yeah, that's what I want. So if you hover over the icons, this, the background color should change. Since they have the same color, realize that if you hover over it, some of them you can barely see the icon. This one you can barely see the icon. So you can change the background color if you want to. Now, the next thing we need to start is the, let's check. Title, service item title. It's a class, so service item title. In fact, within that, we have the service item title. Within that, we have the H3. So let's add the H3 to it. That's what we're actually styling. H3, service item title. That's the H3. I want the font size. The font size of that, I want it to be 25 pixels. Of course, I'll add the font weight. I want the font weight to be, let's say, 450 pixels. Sorry, 450, not pixels. Okay, so that will be all for this. Next on the list that we need to start is, of course, the service item description. Service item description. It's a class, so you have this service item description. Now that the font size, I want the font size to be 20 pixels, and then I want the font weight to be 250. Okay. This is relatively okay for me. Because of the space, you can do something about it at your own time, you understand? That is the icons. You can do something about it if you want to. Let's say height, padding. Let's decrease the height to 60. For the height and then the width to 60. Okay. So in a way this is okay. This is okay, and then I'll add, since I have reduced the height and then the width for the items, the icon, sorry, I would add the padding left. And I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Just that the writings are too much, so you can reduce it. If you reduce it, it should be okay. If you should be reducing them, it should be okay. Okay, so I think this is okay. Now I don't like where this thing is, the services is. I want it to be here with an underline. You understand? So what I will do is I'll work on that also. Services page. It's a class. It's a class, so I'll set the padding at 50 pixels, 0, 50 pixels, sorry, pixels, and then 0. Next, think I'm gonna have a look first. Okay, so you can see that some space between this and that, this and then the hero area. Okay, I think that will be all. Next, you have service title. It's also a class. So for that, service title, let me have a look at it again. Service title. Within the service title, we have the H3. And so the styling must affect the H3. So service title, within that we have the H3. Now it's a test, so I want the font size. I want the font size of that to be, let's say 40 pixels, of course. And then I would go for a font weight of, let's say 800. And then I'll go for the text to be centered. Text align, center. So we'll set it at 500. And then let's set the margin for those ones. You have margin should be 0, 0. I'll go for 30 pixels, and then 0 again. Okay, so let's move on. And then I want the next one should be the next is the service title underline. Service title underline, this one. So this, we want an underline over here. Okay. It's a class. That we have a width of, we should give it a width of 40, and then we should give it, 40 is okay, 40 pixels. Of course, we'll give it a height of, again, 40 pixels, and then I'll give it a background color. It should have a background color. Background color, again, I'll choose the same color. I told you I'm okay with this color. You use yours. And then margin, not is too much, 20. The margin, I'll make it, let's say 0, auto, 0, and auto. As to the height, I have problem with the height. This is in, but it's okay with me. The services with the underline. Now there was something here that I want you to observe. The service section is too raw. You understand? It's too raw for my liking. I don't know about you, but it's too raw. Unlike this, you have some animations here. For the service section, it's too raw. So let's add some animations to it. Let's go back to our code editor. Within the service title, let's add some animations here. So we add animated. If you look at this, if you look at the animate.css, you have some animations here. So you select the one you want. I was thinking about fading in, fade in left, fade in down, fade in left, fading down, fading up. Let's see. Fade in, sorry, up. Fade in, up. Okay, this isn't bad. Fading up. Fading up, okay. The unfortunate thing is that, unlike this, when you log onto the website or the page, or when you refresh, you see this. Alright. But unless you scroll down and refresh again before you can see this, you want the person to see it when the person scrolls down. You understand? The person scrolls, the person should see this. The person should see these animations and then the subsequent ones. I hope you get what I mean. As I said earlier on, when a user scrolls down, you should see the animation. It shouldn't only be shown when someone refreshes the page. You scroll down, you should see the animation. So let's go back to our code. Let's go online. Let me show you something. I did something at the background. There was a plugin we call wow.js. This one, wow.js. This is the URL. I'll put the URL in the video for you to see. Wow.js. Now, if you want to download the wow.js, you click on the GitHub, and it will take you to the page. You click on the clone or download, and you click on download. I have it already, as you can see, and then it's a zip file. So you go to the folder, and then there you have it here. You extract. Right click, then you extract. The purpose of this, let me show you something. You see, as I scroll down, let me refresh. As I scroll down, look at something. As I scroll down, you see the animation. You see, so this animation doesn't only happen when you refresh the page, but then as you scroll down, you see the animation. This is what this plugin is going to help us to do to our page. As you scroll down, you should also see our animation. Okay. We are done with the extraction. You open it. We're interested in the dist. You're interested in this. You open it, and then you are interested in the wow.min.js. This one is the JS file. wow.min.js. You can only see wow.min here. You copy it. You go back to the corporate folder. Within the corporate folder, you create. Within the corporate folder, there is JS. Within the JS folder, you create a folder here and name it wow.js. So I'll move this folder inside, and then within that, we have the wow folder, and within the wow folder, we'll paste the wow.min.js here. And then we move to our code editor to add that one to the code. As usual, scripts are added at the bottom, right on top of the closing tag for the body. So bring your comments. Wow.js goes here. Okay. So wow.js goes here. You add it. The script. Source. We have JS folder. Within the JS folder, we have the wow folder. Within the wow folder, we have the wow.min.js. You close your script. Okay. Now after this, go to your functions file, functions.js. You open the javascript.js that you created, and then you begin to write your code here. $, function, okay, so the code, you put the code over here. First, I almost forgot. Let's add comment here. Let me copy something from here. Let's add a comment here. Service section JS. Okay. JavaScript, JS for JavaScript. And then there's nothing strange. You just go back to the wow.js, go back to their page, and then you copy the code that you are supposed to use, the JavaScript code that you are supposed to use. It should be somewhere here. You can bypass this one. This one. That's the code you are supposed to use. That's all. You copy that code and then you paste it there. You understand? According to them, you need this code for the script, for the plugin to work. You understand? So this is it. You copy it Of course, you also need animate.css, but then you have added that already. You need to add the animate.css. We have added that already. Let me show you. We added animate.css, this one. We have added it already. So now you work on this. Click and then you paste. I think I made a mistake here. You need to add the new. The new should be path. Okay. So let's go back, and then with the wow.js plugin, you need to add a class of wow to it. Scroll down and then we add it to the over here. Service title, we add it over here. So we add wow to it. Sorry, no caps. And then the animation itself, this, after adding this, there was already an animation over here already. You have already added the animation here already, so there's no need adding the animated word again. You take it off, because if you go through the wow.js documentation, if you the animation is there already. It's part of it already. It's part of the plugin already. You only need to add the wow class. You understand? If you add the wow class, there's no need adding the animated. As you can see from here, after adding the wow class, you had slide in left. There was no animated slide in left. No. Okay, so that is it. Next, we need to add, let's go back to the wow documentation. We need to add data, wow duration. We need to add delay and then what we call delay and then duration. As you can see here, we need to add these two to our code. Okay, so let's go back to the code. Okay, so let's continue. Now it wasn't working, so I made some few changes at the background. Now this is what I did. First, the service title, I added, but we did this earlier on. We added the wow and then the fade in down. You can make it fading up. Initially it was fading up. I changed it to fading down. You can also change it to any of these. Slide in left. Let's use this and see. Slide in left. And then I added the data. I added this. I added it to the code. Then instead of 2 seconds and then 5 seconds, I changed it to 1 second and then 0.5 seconds. Instead of 2, I changed it to 1 second, and instead of 5, I changed it to 0.5 seconds. Okay. And then I added the wow.js script. I added it here. Okay. At the background also, I added bootstrap, and then jQuery to this. And back to the code, the same as it was initially. Okay, so I think you may have to do same. Make sure you have the jQuery in your corporate website folder. You've added it. This is the corporate website. Within the JS, you create a folder named jQuery. Within that, you add the jQuery here. Of course, you can go online and download jQuery. Just type download jQuery, and then to take it to their site, download the compressed. Where is it? Yeah, download this one. You click on download and you download it. After downloading it, as usual, you extract it, you open it, and then you copy the jQuery.min.js. Move to your corporate folder. Within the JS folder, you create another folder and name it jQuery. Within that, you place the jQuery.min.js here, as I have mine here. Okay. Next thing was, I think it was Bootstrap. We have the Bootstrap already. I remember we downloaded the Bootstrap. We downloaded and then extracted the Bootstrap somewhere. So over here, that's the Bootstrap. So the JS, the extracted version of the Bootstrap. So the JS, you open the JS and then you copy the bootstrap.min.js. You move to your corporate folder. Within the JS folder, you create a folder named bootstrap. Within that, you place the bootstrap.min.js. Okay. After that, you just link them here, as I have done here. Now let's go to our browser and check this out. Okay, so this is okay. Now you scroll down slowly and see what happens. As I scroll down, you see what happens. You can change this to fade in app. Fade in app. You save. There you are. So as you scroll, refresh, you scroll, fade in app. Okay, so that will be all for this lesson. We will continue this in another lesson, but before then, you make sure you select all, right click, and then beautify. You do same over here, beautify. Okay, I will see you in the next lesson. See you next time.